Hello everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Monk Life. Today we're going to be focusing on posture and also hanging out with the local kids and having some fun. So stay tuned till the end for a special surprise and enjoy the ride. Angela ba? Choo choo choo. Angela ba? Well, say hello. Angela ba? Yeah. Okay. Tada. Angela ba? Mangala ba? Tuyara wanta ba de? You want to say hello?
Hello.
Mangala ba? Okay. Tada. All right, please wait everyone. We're going to get started very soon.
Hello.
Excuse me?
Hello, hi.
Okay. Okay, so welcome everyone to a very special episode of Monk Life here, where we're going to be looking at posture. When we practice meditation, posture is very important. How we hold the body. So how we hold the mind is very important, but the body and the mind very interconnected. They go together. So having ways to hold the body is very important. Having different techniques that we can use to hold the body in a quiet way. Please, sir. Please.
Okay.
And the children around here will represent both the beauty of the meditative life, the meditative practice, and also some of the distractions that are very common. But here we will be focusing on the position of the body. Okay? So first and foremost, a very common position, and this is related to the Buddha's ideas of the positions of the body traditionally. So the first position, you would say, is to be standing. So the camera, you might not be able to catch all of me right here, but let's just say I'm a little bit shorter. And let's say that I'm standing. So with your shoulders back and your arms down by your side, just standing. Breathing. So we can stand and we can practice meditation, no problem. So that's the first position. Pretty self-explanatory, standing in a gentle, grounded, upright way, not hunched over, right? So standing as our first position. The second position is going to be sitting. So there's quite a few options that we have for seated meditation. Firstly, one of the easiest, most direct methods to practice when doing seated meditation is sitting on our knees. Can we all show everyone to sit like this? Sit this, we can have all these examples around us. To sit, yes, like this. That's right. So you can see some different angles, some different body types. And what we're doing is sit with the knees here. Some of these different body types. And so from a side angle, it'll look like this, okay? So you're just sitting on your knees. You can take your hands, put them into your lap. And you want to have your shoulders back, okay? Your chest is kind of up and back. Not forced, but in a natural way. And your spine, you also want to be kind of straight. So holding the body in this way, we can very easily practice meditation. And something very important for all seated positions is the position of the pelvis. So if the pelvis is forward, it's going to be easy, the pelvis right here, kind of this thing here. So if the pelvis is forward, then we can have our back can be straight, our shoulders can be back. It can be a very comfortable position. If our pelvis goes back, that's when we are, maybe I'll move this microphone down a little bit. That's when we are hunched over, and when the pelvis it goes back like that. So being mindful to have the pelvis forward and sitting like this. So this is a great way to practice meditation. And when we get started in meditation, we don't need to practice for 10, 15, 20 minutes. We can practice for 5 minutes. And so even though this position might be a little bit difficult to do for any length of time, for 5 minutes, it's a reasonable position of the body. It's a reasonable position of the body to sit in. And one of the ways that we can modulate or we can add to this position of the body, this seated position, is with a cushion. So let's say, for example, that this tub of slime is a cushion, okay? And there's a lot of excitement around this slime, and there's a lot of excitement around meditation in the modern world. But let's say, for example, that this is a cushion. And so if it was a cushion, you could put it in between your legs like that, and you could practice meditation in that way. So that can support you to sit more comfortably in this position. And when we're doing this, we're experimenting. We're learning about what method, what position of the body is going to work for us. So sometimes a cushion is good. Another thing that we can do is we can spread out the feet and the legs, and we can take even more cushions and stack them, something like this. So then you're not even sitting on the legs or the calves, you're just sitting on the cushion. Okay, so that is the seated on the knees. Okay. So the first seated position as sitting on the knees. Okay. Now moving on to what people usually imagine when we talk about meditation is cross-legged. Seated, cross-legged. So with this, once again, you're usually going to want to use a cushion. So your butt's going to be on a cushion. And then with your legs, we can start by having our feet out like this, our legs out like this. Okay? And then we can take one leg, whichever leg we like. We can take whatever leg we like and we can fold that in. So folding one leg in, just like this. And here, let's turn so we can, well, you better stay there. Okay, and then we can bring the other leg in. So now, though we don't need to stack it, we don't need to stack the legs, just bringing them both in close, folded to the body in this way, and then with a cushion. So for any Western people, we'll almost certainly be using a cushion to do this. So I'm using the slime as a cushion. And so now the pelvis is very easily forward. Our back is straight, our shoulders are back, and this can be a very comfortable position to practice meditation. This is usually called a Burmese sitting position. Okay? And now, and once again, it's experimentation, it's trying, seeing what works for you. Another option is to, with one leg folded and brought close to the body, take one leg and fold it upward, put it onto the thigh, and then the other leg pushing out. So now this is what's called half lotus. So one leg that's, one foot that's up on the opposite thigh, and then one leg that is flat out in front. This is a really good example. This is a really good example of what that meditation posture looks like, if you're seeing this, and hopefully this as well. So this is half lotus, and then if you take the other leg and you put that on the other thigh, which you need to be quite flexible to do, it looks like this. So this would be full lotus, remembering to use a cushion in doing that. So we have on the knees, we have sitting cross-legged, like this. Some of the things you want to watch out for is stacking the legs in a way where you're lifting up your cha-cha. You're lifting up your knees too high. So we want to have almost a triangular base. So the more spread out, the more spread out our pelvis can be, and our legs can kind of be opened, and we have this base that we are sitting on, this almost triangular, very firm base. That's what we're looking for. So if our knees are up like this, we're almost certainly doing something wrong. You could say that it's not very balanced, it's unstable. And as I said at the beginning, these children, they represent both the joys, the beauties of meditation, the joys, the beauty of the mind, but also how distracting the mind can be. And the mind can certainly be very distracting. That's why it's very important to have a firm and stable position of the body in which to practice. So going over these one more time, we have standing. We can stand like this and breathe, follow our breath, practicing meditation. And then from the standing position, you may not be able to see my head for that moment, but I'm sure you can use your imagination. And then we can go directly into sitting on the knees, just like this, a beautiful example, sitting on the knees. And then we can also sit cross-legged, where we are crossing our legs. Doesn't need to be anything complicated, but remembering to use a cushion. So in this case, we have slime, a container of slime. And so we can sit on that cushion, whatever it is, and then our pelvis is forward. And we're leaning forward, we're finding that balance point in the body as we practice meditation. And the last example, of course, is laying down. And you can practice meditation while laying down, but once you start to relax, once you really start to feel comfortable, you're almost sure to fall asleep. So usually the recommended posture is to the recommended posture is to be sitting, a seated position, and standing is also okay. So throughout history, the question of what is in the box has come up, and surprisingly enough, we're going to answer that question here in our posture tutorial. Cha-cha, cha-cha, choo-choo, chi. Come, cha-cha. We're going to answer that question. We're going to answer that question here in the meditation posture video. Okay, so everyone, let's get here so everyone can see, also the people watching at home. Here, this. Okay, everyone get close. Here. Okay, cha-cha. Okay, so we're going to answer the question that Brad Pitt famously asked of what's in the box. Can you move over a little bit, sir? Maybe so everyone can get a good view. Okay. And as I had alluded to before, what's in this box is a slime concoction, a creation of slime. And this is something that the children here in Myanmar really enjoy. And so oftentimes when we talk about the slime of life, the swamp of our life, we're thinking of those really difficult things, those really troubling things. But what something like this can show is that the slime of our life, the difficulties in our life, can actually become a beautiful, fragrant playground for learning about ourselves, for embracing our sufferings. And that's exactly what we do in meditation. Having a solid understanding of meditation posture can really help us to establish ourselves in the meditation practice and give us this feeling of independence. So when we talk about practicing meditation, it's not this vague spiritual term. It's something that we really are able to do with our bodies and that we have experience with. So I want to thank everyone so much for coming to Monk Life and checking out this video. We're going to now have some fun with slime, and maybe we could all give a send-off. Can we all bow to the camera? Say, Jezuba, Jezuba, okay. Pyoshwin baze, Kankao baze. Okay, tada, goodbye.